AITA for not answering the door when my ex's mom showed up at my apartment unannounced. This happened a couple of years ago, but I was recently talking about crazy MIL stories with a friend, and she thinks I was an AH. For context, I have sole custody of my children. My ex and his family live about a 9-hour drive from me. One day, at around 9 a.m., there was a knocking sound on my bedroom window. I peeked through the bottom of the blinds and saw a pair of women's sneakers. When I peeked higher, I made eye contact with my ex's mom. My immediate thought was, WTF? The apartment complex where I live isn't gated, so anyone can drive onto the property, but they can't enter the buildings without a key. This meant that my ex's mom couldn't knock on my actual apartment door because she didn't have access to the building. Anyway, now that she had seen me, I quickly changed and went to see why she was there. The only reason she had my address was because a few months earlier, she asked for it to mail things for the kids, and I foolishly gave it to her. When I asked her why she was knocking on my window, she said she was in the neighborhood. I asked why she hadn't called before arriving, and she said it was a last-minute decision. I let her in, and she spent some time with the kids. Before she left, I told her that if she wanted to visit again, she needed to give me proper notice, not 10 minutes, but at least a full week in advance. Now here's where I might be the AH. About 4 months later, she pulled the same stunt. This time, when I heard tapping on my window, I immediately knew who it was. I didn't bother looking out the window. She started calling my phone repeatedly. After the 5th call, I finally answered. She told me to open up because she wanted to see the kids. I was taken aback and asked why she hadn't told me she was coming. I then lied and told her I wasn't home, that I was 45 minutes away, visiting my dad with the kids. She demanded my dad's address, but I refused to give it to her. I told her I didn't know when I would be home, and hung up. Not long after that, I started getting texts from my ex, demanding that I let his mom see the kids. I told him the same thing I told her, that I wasn't home. Imagine my surprise when a few minutes later, I heard police banging on my door. I didn't answer. Instead, I got a call from a random number. It was one of the police officers outside my apartment. He said they were there to perform a wellness check because my ex's mom claimed she hadn't heard from me in 3 days and was extremely worried. He also informed me that, according to him, it's illegal not to answer the door when a police officer knocks. I explained to him that her claim was a complete lie. I had just spoken to her on the phone. I told him she had shown up unannounced, and I had made it clear to her before not to do that. I said that I was out with family, and I wasn't obligated to come back home just because she decided to show up unannounced. I also emphasized that I didn't have to entertain her just because she was my ex's mom. After the call with the officer, I received another text from my ex calling me an AH. He asked how hard it would have been for me to let his mom see the kids, since she had driven all that way just to see them. I want to make one thing clear. I don't mind her visiting, and I don't mind her being around my kids. What I can't stand is her showing up unannounced and demanding to see the kids like she's on some sort of power trip. Discuss in the comments section below, and I'll pin the most upvoted comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to hear more stories animated and read by AI.